Good evening and welcome to Hungary Reports, Starship Public Media M1's foreign language news hour. I'm Csenge Gabriela Iboya with today's news from Hungary and the Carpathian Basin. Let's begin. Regular ventilation, hand washing and disinfection. These are the most important elements of the epidemiological action plan that both schools and kindergartens have received. Children will not be required to wear a mask, but the protocol will provide detailed instructions for the necessary cleaning and disinfection, as well as rules for hand washing and keeping a safe distance.
Desks and chairs are being cleaned in this vocational high school in Zalaegerszeg. A thorough disinfection will be carried out in the building in the upcoming days. This is the first step in the 70-point epidemiological protocol, which provides detailed guidance for starting the school year in September. The document was delivered to kindergarten and school leaders on Monday night. The guide details the rules of hand washing, keeping a safe distance and mask wearing within the school through 8 pages, but also covers the organization of events, meals, and the creation of a safe environment from an epidemiological point of view. The principal of the school said that during his graduation period they gained a lot of experience that was already incorporated into the guide. We have quite a few broken up or split classes where we have to solve the disinfection between the 2 classes, which we will do with the involvement of extra cleaners, ANDREA NÉMETH explained. The guide was compiled by the government together with experts from the operative body, the Ministry of the Interior and the Center of Public Health. Children will not be required to wear masks, but great emphasis will be placed on regular ventilation, hand washing and continuous disinfection. Universities and colleges have also been given the guide, which even covers the organization of freshman camps. According to the epidemiological recommendation, lectures can only be attended by asymptomatic students and staff, and online administration is recommended to avoid waiting in lines. In higher education as well, people need to ensure continuous disinfection at a distance of 1.5 meters. In rooms where it is not feasible, a mask should be worn. A total of about 5,000 students live in the 14 colleges of the University of Debrecen. It's recommended that when scheduling rooms, students who visit the same classes live in the same room. Dorm students returning from abroad are asked to move in, preferably by August 28th. The segregation of students from countries marked in yellow or red should be ensured by colleges. The cost of the PCR test, on the other hand, will be paid by the state.
Once again, the Hungarian Interchurch Aid is handing out free school supplies to families in need. Due to the pandemic this year, they'll hand out twice as many packages, meaning 2,000 to help children start their school year with a full backpack.
For the time being, these school supplies will be placed in boxes, but soon the donation packages will be handed out to families in need by the Hungarian Interchurch Aid. Well-known people will also help to box the school starter packs that are each worth around €29. These supplies will be handed out nationwide at nearly 2,000 locations. This is the 9th time the Hungarian Interchurch Aid has organized a back-to-school fundraiser. Our goal is to assemble packages with all things that an elementary school student could need, Krzysztof Gánc said. Just like every year, the organization awaits donations. The donation line 1353 is in operation. By dialing the number, you can help the cause with 250 forints.
Athletes, associations, health and patient organizations and individuals were awarded today at Honvéd Hospital. The awards were received by those whose work greatly contributed to a successful defense against the coronavirus and those who supported hospitals. However, the pandemic is far from over, with another 24 people diagnosed with the infection on Tuesday and an elderly chronic patient dying. According to experts, in order to survive the second wave, we must continue to follow the appropriate precautions.
Intense work at the coronavirus ward in a hospital in Budapest. This footage was recorded back in spring. In addition to doctors, more than 100 medics across the capital were working day and night in almost all hospitals during the epidemic. Several athletes also took part in the fight against the pandemic, including Olympic champion swimmer Daniel Gyurta, who brought protective equipment to the Honvéd Hospital in Budapest. The Honvéd Hospital has always been a part of my life. Throughout my career, whenever an incident happened, such as an injury or illness, they took instant action and really helped to prepare for the competitions, Daniel Gyurta said. The work for civilians, associations, companies and patients' organizations was recognized at the Hungarian Army's Health Center. Those who, with their work, have greatly helped to control the pandemic. János Slavik, the chief infectologist at St. László Hospital, said that they've gained a lot of experience and routine since the beginning of the pandemic, but strict precautions are still necessary to get through the second wave and for everyone to follow hygiene regulations.
Nagyon sokat tanultunk az első hullámból.
We learned a lot from the previous wave. We learned to deal with the pandemic, how to treat patients, to follow the rules that people were scared of during the first wave. Of course, people are now less afraid and they follow rules much less. Even though they should, measures such as wearing a mask, distancing themselves, disinfection and quarantine rules should be maintained to prevent a second wave, as uncomfortable as it may be, János Slavik explained. Experts say that the hospitals in Hungary are prepared for a second wave, as sufficient amounts of protective equipment is available.
As many as 1,633,000 people have already completed the National Consultation Questionnaire, the State Secretary of the Prime Minister's Cabinet said. Csaba Demeter said there are still quite a few days until the deadline, but it can already be stated that this will be one of the most popular consultations. As he put it, there is a reason for this, because the pandemic is still raging around the world. And nearly 90% of the applications were accepted in the tender announced back in June to buy electric cars. Part of the 5 billion forint or 14.3 million euro budget was set aside for taxi drivers, but companies and individuals could apply also.
Zoltán Bogdan currently works as a taxi driver. He drives a hybrid car. He says that in a few years' time he will need a new car. He calculated that an electric vehicle would be even more economical than a hybrid. That's why he applied for the tender, which supports the purchase of electric cars and electric motor scooters. He received a notice that he won. The amount of state aid allocated for taxi drivers is more than 5.7 million euros. In the case of taxi drivers, the government can cover up to 55% of the price of their new car. The Taxi Association director welcomed the fact that the government is helping enterprises to such a great extent. Cars which are worth between 31,000 and 43,000 euros are the ones which can be used by taxi drivers for taxi services. This means that the state provided more than 23,000 euros in assistance to businesses, Zoltán Meta said. Out of the 5 billion forints, or 14.3 million euros, private individuals could also apply in addition to taxi drivers. In their case, the maximum amount of support is 2.5 million forints, or 7.1 thousand euros. More than 1,700 applications have been received for the state aid announced in June, and the evaluation is still ongoing, the State Secretary for Energy and Climate Policy said on M1. Around 640 private parties have been notified that they will receive the support. There was a significant interest on the part of business organizations as well, Péter Kodariak said. He emphasized that the tender is in line with the Comprehensive Economy Protection Action Plan, as one of the most important sectors of the domestic economy is the automotive industry. Strengthening the electromobility sector is a priority of the government.
A truly multi-phase, magnificent building complex awaits hikers in Fejér County. The AMADÉ-BAJZÁTH-PAPPENHEIM castle in Iszka-Szentgyörgy was built for almost 300 years, and over time almost every owner has expanded it according to their own tastes. Since 2012, the castle has been the home of a Finnish gallery owner who has furnished the 30 rooms in it with spectacular period furniture. And the Gárdony castle is the scaled-down copy of the castle of Eger, which happens to be the venue where the Hungarian classic book Egri Csillagok, or Stars of Eger is set. It was built next to the birthplace of Géza Gárdonyi in Agárd-puszta. Visitors are guided by the castle captain of Gárdony, and hikers can return home with special literary and historical experiences. Children visiting can go down the dungeons with a headlamp, take part in night trials, and even defend the castle. And that's all for now, but don't forget you can catch Hungary reports every night after 11 o'clock news and online as always. Do stick around and watch our German, Russian and Chinese language news. Thank you for watching and have a lovely evening.